Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Maker. During the last part, I completed the latter 5 stages in the example level set that was provided by the engine. So as promised, I'll be trying out a bunch of online shared levels in this part. Now, expect there to be a large gamut of levels ranging from easy to hard, short to long, well designed to not so well designed, and fair to not fair, etc, etc. This is to be expected as there's a lot of different level designers with different levels of experience, ideas, and ethos for creating Mega Man levels. Because this was released to a lot of masses, and several players I know they never created a Mega Man level before, or never even played a Mega Man game before. Now, I will be trying out levels by a viewer who sent their levels in the first 3 parts, specifically 3 of them. That viewer being Mega Man 2407. So here we have 3 options for choosing a level. We can browse for an online level based off of a set of criteria, search for a level based off its name, or use one of the MISC options, that being either entering the numerical ID of the level, or picking a random level, which I will be doing repeatedly in a future part. So let's do this. After I try out 3 of the levels made by Mega Man 2407, I'll try out some other levels. So we'll start out with Hidden Goodie Everywhere. As another quick disclaimer, I apologize in advance if I sound a bit too harsh when I give level design critique. In the end, I want us to both become I just want to make sure that we all become better Mega Man designers as a whole, through all this criticism and critiquing, and explaining where the level designers worked, what worked well, and what didn't work well. After all, we all started pretty bad and eventually become good. It's only through repeated trial and error and practice that become better at our crafts. And from what I've heard, this is actually the first level Mega Man 2407 actually created in this engine, or perhaps even their first Mega Man level entirely. So first critique, the background is the waterfall, but it's kind of hard to see with the foreground here because we're using the ice platforms and both are relatively the same bluish color. I would like a little bit more contrast though. And we start out with a fully charged up charge kick, and apparently the Mega Buster is a temporary special weapon now, and we have access to almost every special weapon. I think I see why the designer actually picked this contrast, or hard contrast. That way it's a little bit harder to take up the goodies. And remember, these are ice blocks, so movement is quite slippery. And of course I do have the Mach Tornado, so I can get up here if necessary. Or rather, the Nado, my apologies. I don't think we need all these special weapons, but they're helpful for other scenarios. And of course I have the gravity hold, so I can just easily take care of that one. And of course I have infinite usage of the charge kick, so I'm not too worried about falling to my doom. Hopefully. Wow, that pause over there almost it kind of threw me off of the Shadowman platforms. If there's one thing I would like added in the future, it would be an option to toggle whether the screen temporarily pauses when you collect the pickup. That way I can toggle it on or off, because I would rather have it off in some of these tighter platforming segments where precision is key, and being a bit off it may just throw you off so much that you'll die. The Mach Tornado will not take me high enough. I could just risk it by using the charge kick, but I'd rather just take the safe route and, well, use the rush. What happened there? I hit an invisible wall and I died. I'll chalk that up to the engine bug. Well, at least I got an E-tank. Let's try that segment again and see what happens. And it's kind of unfortunate because I died right next to a checkpoint. It's not too far, so I'm not too worried. Oh, you can actually barely make that jump. Whoa, whoa. Like I said, I really wish there was an option to change. I really wish there was an option to change whether if you could go walk back out of a room, so you can prevent issues where you walk right into an enemy like that. aka lock the transition directions. That's a little bit of odd screen transition over there. And at least there are some of those tadpole eggs if we need it. Oh, I see, there was an alternate pathway up there and we could have used it to get some extra weapon energy. Alright, it's time to fight Fairman. Oh, this is a unique boss room. Let me try and see what this boss room has to offer. And Fairman is rather aggressive when chasing us. Okay, so the problem with this boss fight, or the difficulty, stems more from the enemies attacking you from all over the place. Of course, you can make the enemy encounters a lot easier if you actually destroy them, or get up close enough to them so you can do stuff like this, and destroy the picket men. So now I have much more room in order to deal with this boss. So let me just use an E-Tank. I wonder... I know some level designers did this once before, and this... Yep, Fairman's weakness is his own weapon. So just like Metal Man, it seems. Well, that was a... well, fair to substandard first level if you ask me. It was actually a rather short one too. The main problems I would say is that the contrast between the foreground and background was a bit of an issue in the first stage, or in the first segment of this stage. But otherwise, I did like how there was extra goodies that you could get as long as if you wanted to take more risks. But of course, we had so many special weapons that the risks were mostly mitigated. I won't give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, mainly because I personally, it's kind of a first stage and it's rather substandard or fair. So let's try out the next stage that they made. We have 2 bouncing funs. I think this is done in sequential order of when they created it, so I'll pick the latter one to see how it works. Let me compare the two and see what their scores are. This is 4, this is 5, and this was played more. I'll play this one. As usual, I'll leave timestamps in the description below, as well as the names and IDs of each level, so you can download and play them if you really want. Oh, I see what you need to do here. We have infinite topspin and we need to keep bouncing off of all those tellies. Well, that's a neat level gimmick. And of course, I can let go of the topspin button and I'll continuously topspin off of these enemies. Okay. There's no checkpoint though, so we gotta be cautious so we don't instantly die. And of course we can do topspin right to the right through enemies, just like before. But here we can bounce off of enemies just like Goomba stomping them. I would like there to be a checkpoint here somewhere, but the level seems easy enough, so I won't fault the designer for this. Oh, and also, by the way, in each of these parts where I try other people's levels, I will try out at least 5 or 6 levels per part. What happened? Where was it supposed to go there? Must have missed something. But as I was saying, I'll try at least 5 or 6 levels per part, so I can at least try out a relatively wider swath of levels. Now, if the levels are short enough and I end up... Oh, sorry, that was my fault. If the levels end up being short enough that I complete each part in under about 35 minutes, well, then I'll try out more levels until I reach at least 35 minutes in the video time. Now, if the opposite happens, where I don't reach 5 levels, but I went over 35-minute mark, then, well, I'll either extend the video length, or I'll just split up the video into multiple parts. This will probably be necessary once I encounter really long levels, but it'll be up to my discretion whether I'll decide to split up the video or just make the video longer. But otherwise, this level isn't that difficult. I think I know what happened there. I think I need to climb up somewhere, but what happened was I thought I didn't need to climb up somewhere and I just need to get the M-tank or something. I see. So I need to just keep climbing upwards and I'll succeed. Oh, I think I know what's happening. The barrier is on the right. No? I'm confused now. How do you complete this level? Alright, if my hunch holds true, I need to get on the other side of this level. and climb upwards. Okay, we are going upwards, so... Oh, whoa. Oh, okay, the camera locking is not perfect in this game yet. So it can cause some weird, awkward transitions, as you can see here. So I need to get to the other side and wait for all these tellies to respawn, so I can climb my way upwards. Or I can just use Rush Jet, but it's a little bit too risky. As you can see here, any fall can mean instant death. The level isn't too long though, so I don't fault the developer for not adding more check. It says positioning yourself in the correct fashion is where problems are going to start coming along. As you can see there. If there was only a way I could turn off the top spin at certain areas. Okay, got it. And we have all these tellies and Top Man that we have to fight. Okay, let's see what Top Man's weakness is. I know how to fight him. And of course the Mega Buster is a temporary weapon because, well, the Top Spin was my primary weapon. Maybe it's NATO? Yeah, it is NATO. Figures it would be the other spinning weapon. There we go, this stage has been completed. Yeah, it was a little bit confusing what I had to do in Bouncy World, but once you get the hang of having to turn back or rotate to the left, it's fun. I'll give this stage a thumb up, definitely. It's just that you need to get the hang of using the top spin correctly to bounce upwards. I would like to see a more complicated version of Bouncy World with a lot of more spikes and enemies that we have to dodge, because this was rather fun to play through. Alright, last stage by Mega Man 247. Gotta go fast. I'll ignore Kaizo level normal for now, I'll try it out in another part. 2 votes, 10 plays. If there was another quality of life improvement that I would like in this game, it would be the ability to skip these intro segments. After all, certain fan games did this already. Oh, hello Metal Man. So, okay, Metal Man's gonna try attacking us immediately, it seems. And we have access to pretty much everything, so, and of course he's immune to the Flash Stomper. Figures that would be it. So we need to get through the stage as quickly as possible while avoiding getting hit by all Metal Man's metal blades. Well, this is a unique level gimmick. I don't remember seeing that many Mega Man games, or fan games that deal with you having to run past an enemy who's shooting at you from the top. And of course bosses don't despawn. Oh, I'm running very low on life energy though. Thank you for all the life pickups though. Oh, and yeah, we're gonna fight Metal Man now. If I can get up there. Now I just need to get up there and actually fight him. That's the other problem. I need to get him down here. At least there's a checkpoint right over here, so even if I die, I'm not in a bad shape. I'll just die over here and refight it. All the enemies are here that are causing the problem. Yeah, that's one of the problems of the caterpillars, even the main games, especially in close quarters combat. They can be they can be a big pain to deal with. Also these areas too. I'm just gonna use the Mach Tornado. Let's rush all the way backwards and fight the Metal Man correctly this time. Let's deal with all of these tadpole eggs though. And the tellies. Not a good sign. What is his weakness? Of course, he's completely immune to that. I can freeze all enemies. What is he weak against? Nothing, I think. Okay, this is gonna be a slight problem. So I'm going to have to lure Metal Man over there and fight him just by using the Mega Buster. It's a bad place for checkpoints over here, especially with all the enemies popping up. I didn't realize those bone enemies can actually, those skeleton Joes can fire that far. See, oh yeah, I forgot the Jumbotrons can also... I keep forgetting that enemies are going to pop up from the bottom. So I'm just going to use Flash Stopper and race to the left. There we go. Okay, his weakness is the Mega Buster. So as long as I get right next to him, I can easily just bum rush him. I overcomplicated it. I thought it was another special weapon. But this was certainly a unique stage, having to go forward as fast as possible, avoiding the slew of enemy spam right in front of me, while avoiding getting hit by a Metal Man. That was a unique stage, and I really appreciate that the level complexity at the bottom wasn't that high, to account for the fact that Metal Man was trying to throw metal blades at you, plus we had a lot of enemies at the bottom, so that makes up for the enemy spam there. So my suggestion would be, for Mega Man 247, would be to work on your backgrounds and more create a better usage of tile sets so the level looks more aesthetically pleasing, and, well, a little bit more creative usage of level design, or better usage of level design ethos. Specifically, I would like to think a better checkpoint placement in safer areas so you don't instantly get killed by or ambushed by a lot of enemies. But otherwise, I do like how you explored the gimmicks of bouncing everywhere using the top spin in Bouncy World, as well as running away as fast as possible and Gotta Go Fast. So you are definitely improving compared to the first stage. Now, as for the remaining levels in this part, I found them by searching using the Mega Maker hashtag on Twitter. So let's start off with Crashed Spinsanity, created by RocketNia. Let's do this. 13 plays and 1 score. The boss is of course Crash Man, but I wonder what the spinning has to do. I suppose this has to do something with topspin. And we have Brightman's background for Brightman's team. Oh, we only have access to the topspin. So this is going to be another, it's going to be another stage like Bounce World, but unlike Bounce World, we'll basically have no choice but to use the topspin. Whereas in, well, Bouncy World, we had the option of using all the other special weapons. Well, that's unique. Oh, I see what I had to do there. Oh well, at least we have infinite usage of this. I thought this floor was lava. Good thing it wasn't. Oh, I see what I need to do here. Neat. I need to just bounce out these projectiles. Already I'm liking how the stage is introducing the bounce gimmick. But I need to be careful so I don't destroy all the ground that I need to use to get across. Oh, I see. Oh, I was too over-eager to get across there. The Super Ball Cannon's bouncing projectiles can be a little bit difficult to bounce off of if you're not careful, or you don't position yourself correctly. I wonder if I'll need to use the E-Tank during the boss fight. Maybe, maybe not. That was my fault for making the jump a bit too early. But I'm not getting frustrated by this stage's gimmicks, though. Far from it. All the deaths I've been encountering I feel have been fair. Okay, I see what I need to do. If we can only time it correctly. This is gonna be a tight one, isn't it? Whew, yeah, that was a little bit of a tight one there. But otherwise I got past that challenge. It was just learning when it was going to bounce. And thankfully there is a checkpoint right over here, right after that challenge, so good placement over there. And it seems that each of these segments has their own tile set. Because now we're outside. Okay, nice increase in terms of difficulty, or nice difficulty progression. Gotta be careful so we don't get hit by these bouncy projectiles, like I did there. I see what I need to do here. I probably blew it up at the wrong time, but okay. I need to use this to get across. And use this to get over here. Wonderful. Okay, this is gonna be a puzzle room. Let me just hit this checkpoint. I want to be careful because there's probably gonna be spikes somewhere. Okay, and these springs actually break me out of the topspin motion. So I do have... whoa, wow, that's a little bit scary there. Yep, there were spikes there. Where is the stop? Okay, a little bit confusing how to determine how it stops. Okay, I was a little bit confused where the corridor was there. Alright, time to fight Crashman with all those super ball cannons. Let me just destroy them as quickly as possible first. And now I can continuously Mario's Goomba stomp over Crashman's head if I'm good enough. That is, if I'm good enough. But of course I always have problems dealing with the classic Crashman fights. Or at least the ones in fan games specifically, not the classic Crashman fight. The worst one is of course in Super Danny. I just went out of range. Crashman can move a little bit faster than I can. And when he changes direction, that causes another problem, because then I'll fall to the ground and take a hit. Maybe I'll keep all the super ball cannons upward so it can bounce a bit higher. Maybe that's the strategy I'm missing. After all, getting hit by the balls deals less damage than getting hit by the projectiles, crash bombs. Plus, they actually do drop health pellets, so maybe that's the secret. And of course, unlike the charge kick, it doesn't phase me through all the enemy projectiles, or rather the crash bombs. And he is weak against the top spin at least, so this fight does go a little bit faster, as in he takes 2 points of damage per hit. So this was certainly a fun, if a bit chaotic boss fight, but what I really liked about the stage was the fact that it took the Bouncy World gimmick made by Mega Man 2407, well maybe independently, and gave it a more creative spin because now I have enemies with projectiles, actual backgrounds, and nice synergetic tile sets. So I liked it. Alright, next up is... Oh, whoops. I think I know what happened there. I picked the wrong option. I'm not sure why we can't fit in the room for saying search for ID. Okay, Cutting Edge of Technology by Voks. 6 plays and a score of 2. I kind of find it strange that, unlike the example levels where it showed you what items and utilities you have right at the beginning, or right at the middle, right at the top of the screen, or right in the intro screen, here it isn't. You have to go to the stage itself and see what you have. Okay, we only have access to the rolling cutter, infinite one, and we have the plant barrier. Let's take the right route and see what's there. I want to get the tank as much as possible. I think I will want the tank. The rolling cutter isn't the best option for dealing with these enemies, that's for sure. At least it destroys the hotheads in 5 shots. Okay then. There was spikes over there, it seems. So I need to take the top left route then. Well, at least I got an E-tank out of my troubles, and there is a checkpoint nearby. Okay, the rolling cutter works a lot better for these Sniper Joes, though. And we have the Napalm Man background. Oh, good, and it's actually programmed in this game where you can actually use the rolling cutter to hit enemies from afar, or hit enemies from behind their shields. Well, that makes this weapon a lot more useful. I'm curious if there's something hidden on the left. And we're right at the boss door for some reason. Or is it? Nope, it was just a soft way to divide the sections. Oh, whoa. I thought I was falling into a pit right there. But there are spikes over here, so I gotta be a bit careful traversing upwards. And now I just need to make my way to the left, so I can actually get across. Well, that's a neat way of actually reusing levels and spiraling through each of the segments. I do like it. I do like it when games actually allow you to traverse to previously seen areas before, but in different parts that you couldn't access before. It kind of reminds me of Metroidvania in a way. Oh. Okay then. At least there's a checkpoint over here. I just phased right to the block and was shunted into, or zipped into the spikes. Well, I suppose the classic Mega Man did have that issue too. I'm gonna take the ladder down just in case any spikes. Oh, hello, Coltons. I kind of find it strange that we have the Bomb Man team going on here, but oh well. Another Picketman. If I can learn how to arc the rolling cutter better, I'll be able to get through these areas a lot easier. I wonder if we're looping back to that earlier checkpoint that we saw earlier. Never mind, we're going to the boss fight? I'll take the left route. Never mind, we're going to have to go through that Galaxy Man platform. Oh yeah, we're almost back at the same point as we were before. I'll take a damage tank there. And we have Voks' trademark signature up there. We're looping back, I think. And we have 2 of these Hammer Joes, which are easily just dealt with using the rolling cutter. This is not as easily dealt with though. But good level of challenge progression because we had easy encounters with all of these enemies before, now we're having harder variations. With more enemies and more challenging level architecture to go through. We were first going through the stage up to the right, and now we're going left and down. Oh, okay, because there's no level over there, we see a black bar. And this is where the levels link back up. And the boss quarter was right over there. And of course we're going to be fighting Nightman, but I suppose we can hit him behind his shield. That's the secret, I think, of the fight. If I can do it correctly. Yeah, he's weak against it. And I can hit him from behind the shield, of course. And that was that. This was certainly a fun stage. A little bit more of a... It was certainly a solid stage, not as gimmicky as the previous few stages I've been going through. But cutting edge of technology focused more on solid level design, easy or straightforward introduction of gimmicks into harder usages of them later. And I do like how the stage looped back into itself, and the fact that the end of the stage was really close to the beginning of the stage, but we couldn't access it due to that pit of water. Alright, next up should be... Alright, next up is Airship Takedown by MortMort. 17 plays and 6 score. It seems that this stage doesn't actually have a boss fight, but this is going to be like an airship stage. I suppose this is trying to be something like the airship stages in Super Mario Bros. 3. And we have Time Man's stage team. Let's see what we have. Okay, just classic Mega Man 3 stuff, or rather just the Rush Coil and Rush Jet. I didn't see that Tauto over there. Huh, we have two options. We can either go to the right, or we can go down. I'll probably have to replay this stage later. Okay then. We have a stage exit right over there to the right. An early stage exit. I need to replay this stage again because, well, it was too short to really make a solid opinion of it. But I'm liking the level design because it's kind of reminiscent of the airships in other games, especially like Super Mario Bros. 3. At least I think that's what it's taking inspiration from. Alright, let's take the left route this time and see what's over here. A lot of elect beams. And a lot of octopus batteries. And a lot of checkpoints too. So that route just ended level early, and now we're just going through the route which will take us to the insides of this entire ship. Yeah, I'm kind of finding it strange why there's an exit right at the... there's an early exit on the right side of the room. We're using that party ball. Kind of find it strange why it would end the stage that early. I understand if there was going to be a separate pathway outside the ship and one inside the ship, like the one I'm taking now, but I would have liked if the outside of the ship took me further and it didn't end the stage that early. Wow, there are frequent checkpoints everywhere. I don't mind it too much, especially because I just died here foolishly, but still, this seems a little bit too frequent. I'm not really complaining though. And thankfully they gave me the Rush Coil and Rush Jet to easily circumvent all of these challenges. Yeah, this stage pad is already about 2 or 3 times longer than the early one. I get the feeling that first pathway I completed was an incomplete pad. Oh, that's a lot of them. Okay, so this is the second stage pad. And it ends right over here outside as well. I get the feeling that the first stage pad of Airship Takedown was an incomplete one, that's why it ended so early. But the one that led into the internals of this airship was the correct one, or rather the completed one, because that felt like a regular level, like an almost regular sized Mega Man level. Albeit with a lot more checkpoints here. But otherwise I enjoyed the stage, although I would suggest to actually work on the first pathway. Alright, last level in this part. Survival Bomb Dash. 17 plays and a score of 13. This was created by King Marked 64. And this one doesn't have a boss fight either. After all, your stage doesn't need to end with a boss fight if it has another gimmick. Run. What do we have? Just Mega Buster and sliding. And charging. Mega Man 5 or 6 charging. I really wish it actually said at the start, just like with the example levels, what type of charge shot you actually have. Strangely enough, for the online levels it doesn't. I suppose it does tell you if you actually download the stage later, but still I would like an extra screen that told me what this level has to offer. This may become even more important if the Mega Maker decides to implement the gameplay styles of Mega Man 7, 8, the Game Boy titles, etc. I would like to think that the next logical set of levels to be added to Mega Maker would actually be the Game Boy style, I mean the Genesis games, because the Genesis games, or rather Mega Man Wily Wars specifically, that had a really similar aspect ratio compared to the NES titles, so that would be an easy conversion. Just with 16-bit graphics, 16-bit Genesis graphics specifically. Well, that was a fun, if albeit rather short stage. It did have one checkpoint, which I really appreciate. I didn't expect this type of stage to have it, but it was really like somewhat like an auto-run stage, or rather, you always have to keep running throughout all those count bombs, and avoid getting hit by all those spikes, and not being so slow that you get hit by the explosion and fall into the spiky abyss. It had no enemies, relatively simple tile set, barely any background, but I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't unfair, and it was pretty fun to go through. I somehow got through it in my first attempt, but I think I was lucky. So overall, in this part, I covered 7 levels, my apologies. It's over my estimate of 5 to 6, but I suppose in future parts we'll have longer levels, so that the number of levels I complete will vary a lot more. But based on my current selection of levels, I would say that most of the levels I'm seeing online are pretty good, at least from this speed selection of 7 levels. Maybe the first stage, collect all the hidden goodies, was a bit weak, but that was the first level and it wasn't too unfair. Most of the levels I'm seeing are relatively fair after all. The only issues are some of the checkpoint placements and maybe some of the design of the level segments. But for the most part, they're relatively fair. They're not on the Kaizo or very difficult or very unfair side. Most of the stages are staying around the medium level of difficulty, or around what the level of difficulty was in the Mega Man Classic games, or even easier. Well, I do appreciate it. It's nice here and there to have easier levels to go through instead of everything being super hard. So as I said, in the next part, I'll be trying out a bunch of more stages that I find online. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!